Man, what do I even say? There's not much to say. I didn't really see much of anything. I'm not a horror guy. I've said this before so many times. Bro, I wasn't even scared. Maybe my stands have been set too high. I mean, I did just come back from watching Obsession and The Backrooms back to back. So watching The Passengers is just like, this horror movie. How do I say, the best way I could describe it is it's the concept, the idea is there. It's just the execution is lacking. Don't get me wrong, it's not all boring, which is what kills a movie if it's just boring. Not even if it's bad, if it's just boring. But I mean, the first 10 minutes with the two dudes. Oh fuck! I'm gonna go into spoilers. I don't care. The two dudes, first 10 minutes. That was probably the best part of the movie because it was really terrifying what they set up this demonic presence to be. It got me hyped up for it. The rest of it, I was like, damn, if it's just what I feel like from it, I was like, okay. What a tease. What a tease. Because, guess what? That's as scary as it's gonna get. That's the scariest point. Every other scare in the film is sort of just, it's lower and lower. Like the standards was set way too high at the beginning and I didn't know how to execute that same level or keep the tension as high as the start. And the film is not about those two guys. Because it would have been funny just to see them, like, just high octane trying to survive whatever it is. But no, it's about the two couples. A new couple. And, unfortunately, I just couldn't really give a shit about the couple. Their backstories, well, they don't really have a backstory other than that. They are two lovers that decided, yo, let's go on a van and go around the country like nomads. But does anything about their backstories hold any relations to the actual overall plot? Not really. But I like the idea, like driving out at night, in the middle of the night, pitch black. It's scary. I've done it before when I went media watching, where I left like 11 p.m. at night, and then we arrived. This is at Lake Mugara, so it's inland in Australia. This is from Brisbane, and it was pitch black on the roads. Like, it was scary. We arrived at Lake Mugara about 1 a.m. We did not stop for nothing there, but yeah, it was pretty, it was scary, but it was pretty fun, but like, so I like the idea that this movie had, driving at night, it's pitch black, and now there's a demonic presence involved, but it's just not executed well. Plus, there's some things that happen like way too coincidentally. This one kind of took me off the shop, where she finds like a book, and it literally has all the answers to all the problems, which then leads to her like doing research on the internet. And then this one I found a bit of a plot hole. Towards the end of the film, the old lady, she tells them like, I know a way to kill it, but how she discovered that is like from a folk story. A truck driver was able to escape the demonic presence by going to the Saint Christopher Church. I remember his name. How did the truck driver, that doesn't explain how the truck driver survived. I mean, the truck driver didn't kill the demon, so how did the truck driver survive? Because the demon marks you forever, so he would have been still hunted. So it doesn't make sense. It's like a plot hole. The truck driver shouldn't have been able to survive if the demonic presence has marked him forever. And for the couple, they actually killed the demonic presence. Does that mean the truck driver killed it and then the demonic presence like came back? It's a plot hole on how it would have been better if they coincidentally killed the truck driver. Coincidentally killed the demon in that church, and the old lady tells them, "Oh yeah, I heard the story of a truck driver who hurt the demon or scared the demon, but instead it's like the truck driver evaded the demon." Doesn't make sense when the whole lore is that the demon marks you forever. But, I don't want to think too hard about it, because I'm not going to stick around for this movie. Not like The Backrooms or Obsession, where all I do after the movie is constantly think about the movie. I love having conversations about the movie. It's like the best part of that kind of film. Obsession and Backrooms, where after I watch it, all they do is talk about it, have conversations, have theorize and all that. It's like the best part about a movie that doesn't include watching the movie. In terms of the actual scares themselves, like I said, wasn't really that terrifying compared to the first scare, the first 10 minutes of the film where it's just a horror sequence. Why couldn't they keep that same energy up? And it felt so weird because this thing is supposed to hunt you at night, but what happens is it will scare you in like an instance, and then they'll evade it, and then the demon won't return back. Why doesn't the demon just continuously haunt them for like 12 hours straight? It has 12 hours to kill. That's when sun is down, or 12, something around 12 hours, depending on where you live and what the season is. But, I mean, 12 hours is pretty scary. Like, you have to be wary for 12 hours. Don't drive for 12 hours. Stay away from the car for 12 hours. Commit to the scare. You don't just one scare and then you're done. And then it'll probably cut to like to daytime or something like that. And when they do the scare, like when they're in the parking lot, I like that. I really like that. Like, it made my skin crawl. The van kept moving. When she was looking at the footage, the demon was like looking at her. And then when the boyfriend comes to see, it's not there anymore. But like, why didn't they just keep going? The tension was high, and then you just drop it. And then they just started resorting to like jump scares. There's the one where their car broken down and he had to like replace the wheel, and I knew like some shit's about to happen, and I was just like, oh, it's gonna be terrifying. And then it was like 2 minutes of the demon playing around with him, and then that's it. I was like, that's it? What? Like this, that was every time something scary happened, but it was like a moment. I was just like, make me scared. Like, I don't like getting scared, but I was like, yo, I paid to get scared at this movie. Why am I not scared? And like I said, I really like the idea. Driving out late at night, it's a scary thing. On roads that are like single lane, and there's no one, and there's barely any lights. It sucks. Like, the run is ruined. Like, this year, I've watched so many amazing films. Like Mighty Supreme, Iron Lung, Project Hail Mary, and then Obsession and Backrooms. And there's some ones coming up that I'm really excited for, like Odyssey, Supergirl, Spider-Man, Doomsday, Dune Part 3. And then I watched Passengers because I was watching a bunch of horror movies, and then the Passenger thing came up, and I watched that, and it just was lacking, and it's ruined the run. 6 months in, I was like on a generational run for movies I was watching in cinemas, and then this comes out, and I was just like, oh man, I just watched that, man. Like, bro, when we left the cinema, we just it was me and my friend. I was dropping you off, and we were in the car, and all we did was talk about Obsession and Backrooms. We did not care for the Passengers. It's just so lacking. Yeah, that's the only word I can kind of describe it as. It's a recipe for a good movie. Just driving at night, single lane, no lights, you're all alone, it's a van, demonic presence, yada yada yada. But it felt like I was being served like a bowl of pasta with no seasoning, no salt, no nothing on it. The defining term in the food industry is that it was bland. Edible, but bland. In the film industry, I have no idea what the terminology is, but for me, I call it lacking. I've said that a million times, but I can't think of a better word to describe it. I was on a steamroll for movies, and horror movies, especially with Iron Lung, Obsession and Backrooms, and this killed the momentum. But it's halfway through the year, so maybe it's like just restarting the momentum. Like, my expectations was like for like all the movies I was watching, and then it kind of set it low. So the next upcoming film, I don't know what I'm gonna watch. Maybe Supergirl, Spider-Man, Odyssey. I don't remember what the release dates are. But the next movie that I am gonna watch, the expectations will be lowered because of Passengers. So maybe I'll be very pleasantly surprised by the next film that I see in cinemas. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and have a good one. Yeah, so I'd rather talk about Obsession and Backrooms. So here I go. If I had the one wish wheel, I would wish to be able to use the Force. Or have spider sense. That, or a ton of money. Oh, and the Backrooms, it will actually sound like a viable option. with the whole housing crisis situation happening, a demonic entity chasing me around for cheap housing, doesn't sound too bad.